Most of our clients are already using UpDocs in some fashion, but may not be aware that there are other options available from UpDocs that can increase your productivity and your efficiency, and also create a better work environment with less burnout across your staff, less turnover, because the workflow becomes a lot easier to manage. So UpDocs has been working with us for several years, I believe close to 10 now, as far as providing services. And it started out with being some basic stuff like scanning, faxing. Now it's moved into messaging, reminders, and a whole lot more. And when we have small user group meetings where we have, 50, 60 Amazing Charts clients come, everybody's always interested in learning more about UpDocs. A lot of them are already using UpDocs to some limited amount, but realize after the presentations that they could be utilizing a lot more that UpDocs provides to make their workday a lot easier to get through. So today's webinar will be recorded. It's going to be sent out to everybody that registered. And I'm going to pass it along to Megan and let her walk you through everything.
Thank you, Adam. That was a great history of UpDocs and Amazing Charts. Thank you for that. So yeah, we wanted to touch today on kind of a severe issue, a more serious issue, but kind of try to make light of it on the Halloween holiday. So we'll be talking a little bit about burnout, how UpDocs can help alleviate some of that stress and burnout contributed to the practice stress around your office. So the title today is High Alert, Zombie Epidemic Continues, Burnout Likely Cause. Ooh, sorry about that. So just to give you a quick agenda, I am Megan Francis. I'm the marketing coordinator or provider marketing manager over here at UpDocs. I started in sales and have quickly moved over to the provider network. We work with pharmacies and LTC communities as well, trying to help coordinate care. So UpDocs really helps you leverage technology to bring the most to your practice, the most efficiency, the most collaboration with other care teams. So we really try to provide you with a single platform to do all of the things you do administratively on a daily basis. So we're first going to go over the epidemic that is burnout, the symptoms of burnout, and some of the solutions or things you can implement within your practice to help alleviate some of those symptoms. Then we're going to go over UpDocs at a glance, kind of walk through some of the breakdown of our workflows that we provide for Amazing Charts users, and then also a special offer to anybody registered for the event today. It is a limited time offer, so you would want to jump on this pretty quickly. So the epidemic. Burnout is increasingly spreading around providers, independent physicians, especially among residents going into independent practices. Obviously, you have a lot of the bureaucratic duties, a lot of the standards that are set on you by MACRA and MIPS, and just many, many contributors on a daily basis that are outside of the spectrum, kind of outliers to your daily life. What you try to focus on a daily basis is make sure you're getting to your patients in an impactful way, making sure you're helping them the best you can, providing that high quality care. And all of these outliers kind of add this unnecessary stress to your daily life, making it a little bit more difficult to do your job. So specifically, burnout has spiked to nearly 54% in past years. There's even a survey that mentions over 74% of physicians feeling burnout in some type of way. 54% feeling it all the time, 74% feeling it in some degree or manner during their yearly practice. Some of these top causes for burnout include the climbing drug prices, pay for performance, mandated EHRs, which you have a great one that really tries hard to kind of provide you with the features that you need to counteract these stresses, pervasive hospital acquisitions, and the Affordable Care Act, and increase in ACOs. So with UpDocs and Amazing Charts, we work hand in hand to provide you with the systems and solutions that are needed to kind of counteract these challenges on a daily basis. And the symptoms related to these contributors? Symptoms are likely to affect your performance and staff satisfaction. This is obvious. Specifically, depersonalization is one of the top symptoms of burnout. What that is marked by periods of feeling disconnected or detached from one's body and thoughts. Emotional exhaustion, a state of feeling emotionally worn out or drained as a result of accumulated stress from your personal or your work life, and then extreme fatigue. Obviously, a lot of you feel this, especially if you're working those long hours. It's a lingering tiredness that is constant and limiting. Some of the solutions, obviously, we aren't taking this lightly over here at UpDocs and Amazing Charts, but now that we have a better idea of exactly what those contributors and those symptoms are, we can start to implement things around your office or work better with your staff to counteract all of these challenges. Recently, an article was published saying that the problem is that burnout is not a problem that we can diagnose and fix. It is an ongoing perplexity that requires an ongoing structure for balance and self-care. This means, and I think this is very, very powerful, this means that you can't just simply put a Band-Aid on this problem and expect it to change. There are so many things going on outside of your practice that result in the feeling of burnout that you can't necessarily control. But those things that you can control, Amazing Charts and UpDocs are here to try to help you kind of get through. Specifically, by maintaining balance, you can begin addressing the root problem. So in many cases, you need to listen and create structure around your practice. So listening to your frontline doctors, asking your staff, how are you, and truly listening, trying to make those connections around the practice. And then adding additional staff training and structure allows your staff to be better equipped for their job, also resulting in better satisfaction for them. And then implementing processes to limit this stress. So unnecessary work, redundant work, manual work, all of these processes that may be slowing your staff down, hindering you from providing the best care you can, all of these things contribute to that stress and that feeling of burnout. And what we do is provide a platform integrated fully with Amazing Charts to leverage technology to better equip your staff and your practice with the things that you need on a daily basis. And some studies have proven that creating a positive team atmosphere, not to mention just working well with your staff and having a positive daily experience, can help counteract these work stressors. Top 5 concerns for your practice administrators specifically is 54% were concerned with improving staff satisfaction. That is beating out working with patients better. That is beating out engaging your patients in a better way. That's beating out a bunch of different choices. Overall, your practice administrators want to make sure that your staff is happy and equipped with the things that they need to do their job. The second leading was improving staff productivity. So yes, we want you to be doing your job well, but first of all, we want you to be satisfied with the job you're doing. Then eliminating the manual process, empowering your patients in their care, and reducing time spent on the phone. So it looks like above all else, the individuals that are leading the charge on office administration in your practice truly care about your patients, but also it shows that they truly care about your staff. So you want to better arm your staff with tools and solutions that are going to improve your daily workflow, make them happier so that they are interacting with your patients in a more positive way, and really just providing high quality care all around. So we'll jump right into UpDocs and exactly what we provide. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with the patient portal. That's just one small aspect of what UpDocs provides to independent practices like Amazing Charts users. And we have been working with Amazing Charts the longest out of any of our partners. So truly you guys have a unique benefit that you have every single option that we've created on the product side with all of the enhancements. Amazing Charts users are truly the first to kind of see these roll through. So you guys have a very, very, very good spot if you're using Amazing Charts for your EMR. So to kick us off, just a couple harsh realities from the traditional patient engagement side. Engaging your patients is tough, and more you'll hear patients acting as consumers as a growing trend around healthcare. Specifically, they want to be engaged, they want to be connected with by your practice in a convenient way for them. So between scheduling appointment reminders, follow-up calls, payment collection, a huge chunk of your day is dedicated to trying to engage or trying to connect to these patients. Not to mention all of the administrative paperwork that's followed up with those, the online scheduling, trying to make sure your calendar matches up. All of these things can contribute to stress. But some of these harsh realities are you're spending too much time calling your patients and they aren't answering. I think the statistic says it takes up to 3 tries to actually get your patient on the phone. That's troubling. That can be troubling for your staff, especially when they have kind of time-sensitive information to get over to your patient. That can really be a stressor on you to make sure that your staff are following up with your patients, thus stressing your staff more. Your patients and consumers in general want and expect convenience. Like I mentioned before, they aren't answering the phone because 99% of people, when you call them, don't answer the phone, especially if they don't recognize the number. A lot of times your practice might not be saved into their telephone, so they miss the call, they miss the message, they don't listen to their voicemail, and then everything kind of gets delayed from there. So you want to be messaging them in a quick and convenient way for not only you and your staff, but your patients. And your staff is overwhelmed and engagement initiatives with patients might not be priority. If it comes to sending over a referral or tracking down a patient already within your office, getting some feedback to another provider, getting a pre-auth sent in, all of those are probably going to fall into the priority over calling your patients to remind them of an appointment. And I've talked to a lot of practices, especially at the Amazing Charts conferences, where that just doesn't fall into their daily priorities. There might be 5 other things they need to get accomplished during the day before they ever make those reminders calls. And the reality is, not all of your patients necessarily want a phone call. Again, they want the convenience. They want the message that is going to be convenient for them, exactly where they live, and the easiest place to do that is through text message. So with our engagement platform, you're able to connect with patients in their preferred method to drive positive relationships and improve outcomes, specifically with text, automated appointment reminders, broadcast messaging, online scheduling through the portal, forms through the portal, and also patient payments. Just some quick statistics to back up what we're offering here at UpDocs. So why text messaging? Why being able to engage your patients on their mobile phone? Because 97% of Americans use text messaging as their preferred method of communication. And 90% of your patients and overall United States population, all of these texts are read within 3 minutes of receipt. So you know that your message is getting to them in a timely manner, and you know they're probably looking at it pretty quickly after they get it. So this isn't our first kind of foray into text messaging. We've actually already seen a ton of success using text as a means to remind your patients and also get the word out of kind of immediate actions. So if you close for inclement weather, specifically it's pouring down rain right here, so we would probably need that today. You can also text them through broadcast messaging. But we're finding that users are still spending a ton of time on the phone, and one of those things is just really, really frustrating if you can't connect. So we are offering something called Secure Text Message now to Amazing Charts users. This is a HIPAA-compliant way to conveniently communicate back and forth, actually a threaded conversation with your patients that you can easily get into the chart after. This provides a certain level of patient satisfaction, meeting your patients where they already are. Huge time savings for your staff, making it a lot easier, adding a lot more satisfaction to their day, and also kind of eliminating that stress. A faster and easier and more effective way to get a hold of your patients rather than calling. Also, an audit trail, you can file those conversations directly to the chart. So you can send this and import it directly into the patient's chart in Amazing Charts. And then versatility, both staff and patients can send attachments, so photos, documents. If your patient is alarmed by a rash or a scrape, they can just send you a photo rather than calling in and taking up that time and conversation in your day. You can just look it over when you get the chance and then send them some feedback in the meantime. To send a secure text, if you are familiar with UpDocs and have used it before, you know the inbox, you dive right into the same inbox you use for faxing and your portal messages. You simply hit the text compose screen, pick your secure option, type out your message, and send. From there, they will have to authorize or sorry, I can't think of the word. They have to type in two different types of vetted information. So the first is the phone number that's provided to Amazing Charts in their personal file. So that's the first way to be HIPAA compliant. And then also they have to securely provide their birth date. And then they can jump into the message. And then just simply text back with you and your staff as they would a normal conversation, except this is going to live directly in the UpDocs inbox where you can then file it to the chart. So how exactly are other practices using secure text right now? They're using pictures and videos to capture patient symptoms, making it easy for patients to submit insurance cards, forms, or billing items rather than having to track down a fax machine or go to Kinko's. Send patients educational materials, lab results, and copies of medical records, and then alert patients when urgent follow-up care is required. We also have something called broadcast messaging. This was one of the first kind of one-off messaging that we provided for Amazing Charts users. This is a really great way to target certain patient lists, not necessarily one patient at a time. You can send a message to your entire contact list. You can send a message to certain demographics. You build the list you want, customize the way you want it, and then you send out a message based on what you want to inform them of. We do have out-of-the-box templates that you can send. If you are sending the same message over and over, you can also customize your own templates. But the same as secure text, we have a bunch of benefits for broadcast messaging. Specifically, this one is revenue generating. So you're actually able, and a lot of our users are actually able to drive patients to flu clinics, which is a big deal right now, diabetes screenings, time to get your physical, different things like that to generate that revenue that you may miss out on if they aren't necessarily aware of what you're providing at your practice. And then the staff satisfaction, obviously, saving those hours off of the phone. Patient adherence, you can better prepare them ahead of the appointment to know if they need to bring anything in, if they need to fast, any educational materials you want to send out before they come in so that they're ready for the appointment when they come in rather than being bombarded with questions or things they might not have known beforehand. And then patient convenience, obviously, you're able to send this four separate ways. You can actually send these to the portal, email, text, or a phone call. So dependent on their preferred method of communication, you can send it out any of those ways. And then versatility, obviously. UpDocs, we try to stay as customizable as possible because not one workflow fits all. And to send a blast communication, it's the same way you would send the secure text in the same inbox you're faxing through, also controlling your portal messages through. Very, very convenient and one easy place. You just simply go to your blast screen, compose your message, pick your method of delivery, and then from here, you can type out your message or choose a template depending on what your patient preference is, and then they'll receive it on their cell phone the same way they would a text. This was one specific use case. One of our users, Dr. Boucher, is a pediatrician, and he used it to kind of drive revenue and then drive his physicals up by educating parents a specific demographic. So he actually segmented his patient list by certain ages for the HPV vaccine. He was able to send out a pamphlet and educate parents on exactly what it was, what the vaccine does, so that they were ready and willing to make a decision as soon as they got into the waiting room, rather than having to educate them during the visit, taking up more of your time and possibly delaying you for your next visit. So how exactly is it being used? Tailored messaging to distribute information in a quick and easy way out to everyone or a segmented list. You can deliver education on what to expect before your appointment so that they can make really good choices. Update your database on new services to boost that revenue, and then staying front of mind. We've had a lot of practices using it for happy birthday messages, also a way to stay in front of mind for your referral network, so just letting them know you might be offering new services or you might be changing locations, different things like that. And then in the engagement suite, our last one we're going to go over is our appointment reminders, which you're probably pretty familiar with if you've heard of UpDocs before. So it's really easy. Automated appointment reminders cuts your no-shows by 30%. Obviously, a revenue improvement, fewer no-shows, greater reimbursement, less wasted appointment slots. There is a statistic that it's $200 worth of revenue that you lose out on every time a 60-minute appointment no-shows. So just really, really important to that revenue operation. And then visibility, you can help backfill those appointment slots by giving patients confirm or cancel options. Staff satisfaction, again, saving that time off of the phone. Personalization, you're able to customize that message dependent on appointment type or preference of your patients. Patient convenience, less phone tag, trying to track them down and remind them of their appointment. And again, versatility, customizable messaging to deliver on the fly. This is just a quick video to show you how easy it is to dive into the inbox and go to that reminders dashboard, go to that reminders setup. In your free training and free support, you'll work with our team to actually set this up on a one-time basis so that you won't have to reset these options necessarily. As you're adding patients, if you have an influx of patients, you shouldn't need to. You should be able to set this up one time, and then we read your preferences based on the Amazing Charts setup. We also provide a really great dashboard that allows you to see exactly when, how, and to whom a message was sent, whether or not it was confirmed. You can customize this. Again, customization is key. You can also divvy this up by doctors, so you don't exactly have to look at the entire appointment list because a lot of you probably have a ton of appointments going on. You can actually filter this out by doctor or date range as well. So how is it being used? I think it's pretty obvious and intuitive, but automated reminders help eliminate those no-shows and that redundant work done by your staff. It's increased visibility into your schedule without being inside of the practice. One great thing about UpDocs is it is remotely accessible, so you're able to connect anywhere with an internet connection. So you can see exactly what you have waiting for you back at the office on your lunch break if you'd like. You can send responses to things. You can see if you have an appointment cancel before you have to come back to the office. All of it makes it really simple on you and your staff. Another big section of what UpDocs provides is that communication platform. So you're actually able to remotely access your faxes. We will have a team collaboration tool popping up very, very soon. It's called Messenger. So you'll actually have an in UpDocs app to communicate with your team, tag them on certain things, make sure your follow-up is timely and secure, direct messaging, and then secure email as well. So just quickly going over the communication part. We have a hover feature that allows you to easily look at the documents, make sure you're not having to click in or print anything off before you jump into it. You can actually see if it's the document you want to look at before going into it. So saving you just a couple clicks. And then we also have a set of tags. So you get 39 tags within UpDocs to organize these documents coming in so that if a provider only wants to see things that are of high priority when he or she gets in for the day, they can just simply filter out by tag, make sure they're only seeing what's necessary to them. We also have the editor. So a lot of these online fax programs or even your manual fax, you don't have an editor. Your editor is your pen with a Post-it note trying to make sure that the doctor signs everything in a timely manner or making sure that the other staff necessary to review a document are looking at the right things. With the editor, there's no need to print, scan, deal with any sort of paper. You can simply click in and edit the document and then send out or tag the necessary members of your staff. You can also just simply file to the chart. Or with our simultaneous functionality, you can send to the chart here, or you can compose a fax all within the same window so that you're not having to complete one task and then move on to the next with the same document. If you need one document to do 3 different things, you can definitely do that in the simultaneous functionality screen. So really that wraps it up. UpDocs truly is a one-stop shop to communicate, engage, and be productive. So you can streamline those manual processes, empower patients in their care, generate new revenue, and drive provider relationships.